I think motocross was pretty big. It's
Yeah.
yeah. I remember, but there were so many tracks to go to, Corey, in California at the time. Indian Dunes is where I used to always go. It was 40 minutes from my house, right by Magic Mountain, you know.
Yeah.
So I grew up going there and racing Friday night motocrosses and things, and you know, I remember mowing lawns so I could make my entry fees to go do that. So I'd be Saturday mornings. I remember I'd be out mowing the lawns, and just so that I could have enough money to go to the next Friday night motocross race.
That's
And
funny.
yeah, I remember I remember that like yesterday. Like even when I drive through my old neighborhood and stuff, I remember all the lawns I used
Were
to
they
cut.
just like, was it a push mower where it just
As a
it
push
just-
mower,
where,
James.
like where you
No
just,
motor.
Never,
like,
I wasn't
it
sitting on
just,
it.
it just you had to push it and it just started
Yeah,
like
no,
one of
it-
those.
It was like had square wheels the whole bit. It made it really difficult.
But,
Got my donkey out in front of me plowing it. You know what I mean? Yeah.
so, but what was like the championship when you came up and started road racing? You were going to a lot of schools. Was that Kawasaki at the time, or was it Suzuki?
I was on Cowies when I very first started doing the AMA stuff. I was on Kawasaki's. I'd come from Suzuki's. I did the WERA stuff.
Oh, so
WERA is
was
where I
there.
started.
Okay,
Yeah.
so and how big was WERA?
was
it
big.
like a national, or was it like how they have WERA nationals, or
Yeah,
was it
it was big.
okay?
And it was when I was doing it. I started doing it with a buddy of mine named Avery Stewart, and I'm trying to think what year it would have been. It would have been maybe like 1990.
Okay.
We went and did the WERA National Endurance Championship, and it was like just the two of us in a Iveco van, like big Iveco truck that had weird tire sizes. So every time we got a flat, we were in a lot of trouble. And yeah, we traveled all over the place, and then they do the WERA National Endurance Championship on Saturday, and then Sunday would be the sprints. So-
There was money back then too.
There was money back then. Yeah, the Suzuki Cup stuff was good. I was so new to it though that, you know, I was probably finishing 5th and 6th, and I was talking to somebody last night about Grattan, Michigan. I think it was, you know, and it was me and Timmy talking last night, and Grattan's where I got like I finished 3rd in the rain, and it was like my first like podium, right? And that was a WERA National. That was cool for me back then, you know.
And that was a big deal when you were actually like, give you podium
Yeah.
in a club race now or whatever. It's like,
Yeah, make $1,000 or something for finishing 3rd or whatever it was, and I was like, oh my god, I hit the jackpot! Like I made it, you know. Like it's hard to wait to get the check in the mail.
Even when I was there, the Suzuki Cup was at its end, but it was
Yeah.
like it was a big deal. You could at the time when there were so many Suzuki teams, you could get noticed and go.
A lot
up
of
to-
guys are just going out and they were buying a little bit before me. Obviously, Doug Poland was very well known for that's how he basically survived for a couple years. He had Suzuki Katana 600s and 750s, and he was just traveling everywhere. Every weekend he was racing a club race every weekend for 30 weeks straight or something, and then he'd hit a national and he just made all this money, you know, on contingency. So yeah, that's why it's like been great this year seeing Honda throw contingency back up for these guys, and they can make a little money.
yeah.
Do you? So how did you go from WERA Nationals with your buddy?
Mm-hmm.
Like how many years did you race WERA?
I did WERA in '90, and then the thing is back then you had to ride for Valvoline, which was John's team, Ulrich's team. So that was my goal. Like riding for John was for me was like, if I get to that point, my career's done. I'm perfect. Like that's all I wanted to do. I wanted to race, you know, the endurance bike, and it never really panned out for me there. In '91, I got an opportunity to join the team, but I never got on the A bike, and I never really got the opportunity to really do anything good there. And I was at a race in Moroso, Florida. I was at a Suzuki Cup race trying to make money, and I was down there, and I had a clutch go out. And you guys know me with mechanical stuff, right? Yeah, that's all you need to say right there. So I'm not really a mechanical guy, and my clutch went out, so I didn't know what side of the engine that was on. So all I remember is going and asking, like, you know, where I went to the announcer. I went to this booth, and I said, hey, can you ask around and see if anybody's got a clutch? And this big guy came walking up to me and hands me a clutch. And I thought, what a nice guy. I thought, well, now what am I going to do? Because I don't know what to do. This guy got a clutch. And so I went chasing him down. I said, hey, this is going to sound a little cheeky, but do you think you could help me put this in? Because I don't know what I'm doing. So he did. And then when I got home, I ordered 3 clutches and sent them to him. And he called me right away, and he says, you sent me 3 clutches. I said, yeah, you bailed me out. Like, I wouldn't have been able to ride. And his name was Jake Van Vliet, and he lived in Tampa, Florida. And it made an impression on him that I did that. And so he was immediately like, I did good down at this club race that he helped me at, and then that turned into him and I getting together, and then we came up with a plan to race ZX7s in '92. That was going to be my first year doing AMA stuff in 1992.